Good evening, all you circuits and circuetas. It is your boy Benny Blue here and my co-host Mr. Jay Neslo back at you with the third episode of the Stellar Circuit Central podcast. Welcome. Welcome all.
What's up, guys?
How you doing today, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah?
You know how I'm doing.
Yeah. Your eyes are looking a little hazy. Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah?
Man, I think maybe too much coffee, but,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
Chug that before we start. There we go.
Yep.
We've got some things we want to wrap with you this week, y'all. Want to talk about some music. There's a couple cool things coming out. What you been listening to this week, man?
We mentioned last week about Spirit Box with the they had come out with that acoustic song Constance, but they just now released released their date for their full-length album Eternal Blue.
Yeah, when is that coming out?
Let me give you the exact date here. I think it's August. I should have already had this pulled up.
No, it's cool. I was looking over the
September. Excuse me.
September.
It's called Eternal Blue. They have their track listing already up.
Yeah, I was looking over that. The only one I saw that they didn't have that was Rule of Nines. I was kind of curious why they didn't have that one on.
Well, because that was like, I don't know how long ago that was. They got, of course they're gonna put Holy Roller in there because that was an insane song.
But I mean, Rule of Nines was a cool song too.
I love that song.
Wasn't very.
That's one of my favorites. I told you I felt like that was gonna be your favorite for whatever reason.
Yeah,
it's got like a Deftones vibe, like the lyrics and stuff.
I like a lot of the heavier stuff. I guess I kind of lean towards with them.
But yeah, they came out along with releasing their track list and their debut LP. They came out with a new song called Secret Garden, and they debuted another beautiful music video. It's great. At first I wasn't like super connected with it, but I mean that has a lot to do with me listening to a lot of different music all the time. But I don't know. As I've listened to it throughout the week, it's gotten more and more catchy to me, and I really like it. It was just like Circle with Me. I felt the same way about it. It didn't hook me as much as like songs like like Holy Roller and some of their older material. But as I listen to it, I like it just as much.
Yeah, I thought the video was cool.
Yeah,
they always have cool videos. It's at the very least, there's a lot of intention with what they do, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And like I was saying there, that where she turns into like the bush or whatever, I would have to look up the movie.
Yeah, what's that movie with Hugh? It's Hugh Jackman
Life
and Rachel Weisz, right?
Yep.
She's awesome. I've always had like a thing for Rachel Weisz ever since the Mummy movies.
I think any male
it's that English accent.
Would have to say the same.
I love England. I love English accents.
But I feel like they got some influence from a movie called The Fountain. If you haven't seen that movie, you should check it out. It's very trippy, like extremely trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just check it out. You'll know what I mean.
Yeah, speaking of England, this just reminded me really quick that Chris, our boy Chris in Colorado, what up, Chris? Shout out to you, homie, Chris O'Hara. Yeah, he sent us some stuff to check out. Admittedly, I haven't had the chance to check it out, Chris.
Well,
but I'm on it soon.
He said Good
Tiger was one. That's what I was thinking.
We know Good Tiger. What's that one song that we really like from Good Tiger?
I mean, they've got a few jams that I like.
Yeah, but the one that we always like go back to. What is that one called, man?
I think they've got 2 records out now.
Is it Salt of the Earth? Is that it?
That's a good one.
Is that the one that we're talking? Is that I'm thinking of? Salt of the Earth. How does that one go? Sing it with me, everyone.
You can pull it up for a second. But yeah, that's speaking of England. That's what made me think of that. And so anyway, my point was, Chris, I haven't got the chance to listen to that other band that you sent us, dude. But we're on that this week.
It's because he doesn't give a shit.
I don't give a shit, Chris. No, I'm kidding. I love you, man. And looking forward to checking out that band that you said you'd only listened to a couple songs so far, but it's worth checking out. And like we were saying, Good Tiger, very familiar with these guys. Yeah, this is probably my favorite tune
this
from
is
them.
the one. Salt of the Earth, Good Tiger. Came out in 2018. I think this is the one that we always come back to.
Yeah, we saw them perform. They were on tour with Dance Gavin Dance, and I want to say the Contortionist. We went and saw them in Raleigh. I can't remember the name of the venue. It was when we had to go back behind the building, and there was this huge line.
Oh, Local 506.
Was it 506?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was a good show. Those guys are killer.
We've always tried to set up a show there. It's like hard to get in there for whatever reason. I don't know why. Are they even putting on shows right now? Let me see.
I don't know. It's opening back up though.
Yeah.
Good news, folks. The world is opening back up.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't even like really talked about COVID and how that's just been like.
Well, I mean, it's been on people's minds, but it's like.
Well, of course, because it's affected everyone for so long. It's just like I guess it's just the norm.
Yeah,
it's just to talk about it right now. It's just like whatever. Everybody's.
It's just kind of a topic all the time. I mean, we talk about it if we were thinking about it, you know what I mean, and we want to say something about it, but it does kind of feel like one of those things that you've heard a lot about it, and sometimes it's nice to just talk about something else other than COVID and lockdowns. And I don't know, one of the cool things is right now, like I said, the world's opening back up, and for music and for people that love music, it's the time, man. There's a bunch of shows being booked. We've got a few shows that we're booking that we've yet to announce, but we will soon. We do have a show coming up in West Virginia that we're really looking forward to.
And then,
of course, we've got Rockfest in July 17th. Any of you folks out near Cadott, Wisconsin that want to come.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, you can make a drive. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, we're going to be playing at Rockfest on July 17th, so that's cool, and we're really looking forward to that.
But yeah, Local 506 in Chapel Hill, they are doing shows right now. They're starting to do shows, so
right on.
It's cool. Cat's Cradle has always been my favorite jam, and I guess that's Durham, right?
Yeah,
it's Durham, but
Raleigh, Durham. Shout out to our boys Croesus from Raleigh.
Yeah, man. Brian
is our homeboy. We love all those guys, but Brian Cray for show.
That's like one relationship that I've had with somebody that like you
guys are in a relationship?
Yeah. But
how long have you been together?
Well, he's got a girlfriend.
So it's like a triangle.
Nah, she's not down with that.
So you guys just do it on the low.
Do it?
Yeah, you don't tell anybody. Well, now you've released it to the world, so.
No, but like, I can't say he's the only person that I've connected with online, but that it's actually like turned into
Oh, that's cool.
Through the management thing or whatever. Remember?
Oh, that was cool.
And but yeah, man, he's really cool dude, man. Brian Patrick Cray, look him up. He's an insane bass player. I would like to play like him one day.
Yeah, for any of you cats that love that death metal heaviness with the technicality, those guys kill it.
Brian could play anything you would want to, though.
Yeah.
He's so talented, he could do whatever he wants.
And any pictures that you see from the studio, and really a lot of the pictures that we have, it's credit to that duder.
Yeah, he's always chilling with us. We have plans for him to come along to Rockfest with us. I doubt he'd cancel now on us, but if you do, Brian, we won't hate you for it, but
yeah, we'll just kidnap you and
we would love for you to
string
come
you along.
Other new music, White Moth Black Butterfly just came out with a new album, and I know we're not insane about that band, but they had a few songs back in it was 3 years ago when they released their other album. They have the Serpent, which I was in love with that song. I just love Jordan. I can't remember her last name. I
want to say Sparks. I don't know why. I feel like that's somebody else.
I don't know. She's got such a beautiful voice.
I think that's a pop star.
God.
But yes, for people that
Jordan
don't know,
Gore, G-O-R, Jordan G-O-R. I don't know. It's weird.
For those of you that don't know, Daniel Tompkins, lead singer of Tesseract, this is his side project, White Moth Black Butterfly.
Well, Keshev is from Sky Harbor, plays
guitar
with them.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Dar, is that his last name?
Yeah.
That dude is awesome. I love Sky Harbor. I've always loved Sky Harbor.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I feel like they've fallen off.
I don't know what they're doing now, but I really miss them.
Sunshine Dust was their last one that they came out
that's
with.
right. They got together with Eric Emery, their
we saw
singer.
not too long ago. Remember that?
It was a few years ago.
We saw that. Yeah, it was a few years ago.
Saw them when Eric was singing with them. They've gone through a little bit of changes here and there.
Yeah,
It started out as, I think, Keshav is like a bedroom project, and he put some guys together. He had Anoop Sastry was drumming with them for a while, which Anoop is an insane drummer.
Yep.
One of the best in the game for sure. But yeah, I miss those guys. Sunshine Dust definitely didn't hit me like.
I mean, Guiding Lights. Was
yeah,
just
it was just
like
evolution. When I first heard that song, I remember putting my headphones on. It was
every song. Like
yeah, but
every
I
song
remember
on that
that was like the lead single, and I remember putting
Yeah.
my headphones on and just being totally blown away by the production, the sound, and it's some of my favorite stuff from Dan
I can't
Tompkins
remember
too.
who produced that album, but yeah.
I want to say he produced it.
Well, I know.
They might
I
have
know
worked with Forrester, yeah.
Mastering, just
Yeah,
mastering,
okay.
I think. But
yeah, I think that Keshav did a lot of the stuff himself, man. Like,
but yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Sky Harbor's album Guiding Lights, I mean,
and before that
like I
they
said,
had
every song on that album. I feel like it's just a banger. Like,
before that they had Blinding White Noise, Illusion and Chaos, which
Yeah.
was a little
Heavy-
different. It's a little heavier.
yeah.
They got more screaming, and then when they got into, was it Guiding Lights? Right, that's the name of it.
Yeah.
It just it had that more ethereal thing, and
I
yeah,
think
it's one of my favorite
the
records.
title track Guiding Lights is like 10 minutes long, I want to say, or something like that. But yeah, I mean, just like
Amazing.
the sound, like the soundscapes that they have in that, and just like everything about that album. Again, that was another album that we were rocking when we started the band.
Mm-hmm.
Like
One of those that were
we
really
had so
inspirational
many
for
great albums then that we were listening to. Not to say that there was not like great stuff coming out now, but just I don't know why. I guess all those albums are so special to us just because that was when we were.
Yeah, it was a really
starting
influential time.
Yeah, and we needed that
Yeah,
stuff, you know.
and I think sometimes that, you get so zoned into what you're doing, which rightfully so. You got to put a lot of work and time into it. You don't have as much time to search out as much. Although I still try to find the time to do it, man. To find new stuff, and there's so much new stuff coming out. Even it's hard to keep up, But there is a lot of great stuff coming out still.
But yeah, circling back around to White Moth, Black Butterfly, the full length that they just released is called The Cost of Dreaming. I think they have a song with Eric Gunther.
Is that the keyboard from the Contortionist?
Yeah,
keyboard
so
player?
they have a song with that. I haven't listened. I think I may have spun the whole album today. It's very cinematic though. It sounds like it's from a movie score, like we were just discussing when we were listening to that one song. But I really like the song Spirits, the way that sounds. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like it starts like sounding like Gladiator, the way that soundtrack kind of sounds.
That's one of my favorite soundtracks.
But yeah, it sounds great, man.
What's like your favorite movie score soundtrack? I know we talked about Blade Runner last time.
Favorite?
I gotta say Gladiator is up there for me. Gladiator,
Gladiator,
and Braveheart have always been up there for me. Just
those are good.
And Hans Zimmer did that concert on Netflix, which was killer. I recommend anybody to check that out. It is so amazing. It's got so many amazing musicians on it. It's got Guthrie Govan. It's got Mike Einziger playing guitar, both of those guys. It's got this amazing cellist who I can't remember her name.
She played with Joe
Bonamassa. And anyway, that concert is awesome. Check it out if you like Hans Zimmer and you like more cinematic stuff. It's still on Netflix, I believe. One of the best concerts that I've ever seen, for sure.
I can't think of one off the top of my head those ones that you mentioned. Gladiator has always stuck out to me. Blade Runner, but I'm not like a guy that like listens to a bunch of, theatrical soundtracks. Not to say that they're not amazing. It's just that's not what I really listen to all the time. But
yeah, it was a couple years ago. I kind of got off on a tangent. Was just thinking about that stuff a lot and wanting to listen to stuff that just put me more in a mind state of not having to listen too much to each line, and the words or the lyrics or whatever.
I will say I really like horror soundtracks, like from Hereditary, and
I can't really remember.
It's just
the sound
like a bunch
of that.
of
I just remember having nightmares
sounds.
for days.
There's actually a video about this guy that created a it's like a horror device or whatever. It's like hold on.
Oh yeah, it's sort of like a water phone.
It has that
that glassy sound.
Let me try to find it. I'll try to link it. Yeah, Sounds of the Nightmare Machine.
Oh yeah.
Ads are great. I'm just not willing to pay for YouTube Premium. It's
No,
just
fuck
like,
that.
dude, it's expensive, man.
Tyler's got it. We can steal his.
He always says that, but I don't want him to know what I'm listening to. I'm not down with that.
Got to keep Tyler in the dark just to keep it interesting.
But yeah, I'll link this video for you guys to see, but it's insane. It's pretty cool. I think I looked this up. I can't remember what score it was for and who they built it for, but it's like makes the creepiest sounding stuff I've ever heard. But yeah, I've always been a fan of horror sounds and stuff.
Yeah, I think Drew might have been the first person or the one that told me about what a waterphone was, and it's used in like every horror movie that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's been a couple of cool things this week to listen to. Just yesterday, a buddy of mine, Eric, what up, E? Shout out, brother. Sent me a cool song, Chelsea Wolfe, who I've never really listened to, but it's called Diana. It's off the Dark Knight's death metal soundtrack, which Mastodon. What? Yeah, it's called Dark Knight's death metal, and
I thought you meant like the Batman movie, Dark Knight.
No, it's not Dark Knight. It's
Dark
like
Knight, the Batman dark death metal.
Death to Dark Dirkadan. But yeah, Diana's the name of the song. It's got some really cool art, and like I was just about to say, Mastodon just put out a song that was on that same record. Jared was jamming that one hard. He really likes that. Huge Mastodon fan. We all love Mastodon.
I still didn't listen to that, I don't think.
It's cool. But yeah, I was listening to that Chelsea Wolfe song yesterday, Diana, and it's got some really cool vibes to it. It has a really awesome pocket drum groove, and she's got this really like whispery, really high fidelity vocal on it. It's really cool. It's really creepy. So I definitely recommend anybody that's into that kind of stuff to check it out. I'm sure a lot of you guys are more familiar with Chelsea Wolfe than I am. Admittedly, I haven't really heard much of her stuff, but apparently she's really been growing a lot lately and taking her sound to a whole new level. So
I don't know anything about her.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see something new and cool. And what else? I've been listening to. I told you I've been listening to that of Mice and Men EP that just dropped, and I never really listened to those guys too much, but
I know that we listened to, or at least I listened to a lot of was it the previous singer? He started that band with that was also a Sumerian band, Dayshell.
Yeah, I think he used to sing for Of Mice and Men. I don't know what.
So he was the previous singer.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they put out an EP. I want to say a few months ago, called Timeless, and I started jamming that one really hard at the gym. It's got some really heavy grooves, really heavy stuff. It's got 3 songs on it, and then they just put out another one. This one's called Bloom, and I've been jamming that the past few days, and it goes really hard. One thing that I thought was interesting was how they're doing the EP thing. They're a really big band, and just to see
are they independent right now or no?
No, I don't think they're independent. I mean, they're pretty massive as far as
I know they are.
Scene goes.
But even massive bands are.
Yeah, there's still a few of them that are independent.
I think the main thing that we were talking to about Jamie, I don't think it was this time. I think it was when we were doing Ways We Haunt. Was that he was saying like a lot of bands just literally can't take care of the distribution.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And
like for being on a label or whatever, that's the positive of being on the label. They can take care of sending out thousands of albums. And
yeah, it's the logistics of it's crazy. And I told you I was just listening to an interview with the lead singer of Counting Crows, Adam Duritz, and that's one of the things that he talked about was he started a label, and that's one of the hardest things, especially with coordinating with record stores and getting your record in there, and then them needing more records and being able to distribute it and package it and all that stuff. And I remember Jamie saying that was a big reason why BT Bam wanted to stick with the label and not do it on their own, when they signed with Sumerian, was just the logistics of packaging up albums and doing all that.
It's funny when we were talking about how our influences, like the 90s and stuff like that, and then I thought after we recorded that podcast, I think it was maybe the first week or maybe it was last week, but it's like, yeah, BT Bam was influenced by the 90s. They named their song after lyrics from a Counting Crows song.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that, Ghost Train? I think it was Ghost Train.
Yeah. I love that song. Love that album. That was a cool interview lyrics? Too.
You could probably think of them off the top of your head.
It's something miles, 50 miles deep between the Buried and Me or something like that. But it's a great song, great vibe to it. And yeah, it was really cool to hear that guy talk. You know, a lot of people probably don't like that. It's might be played out for him, but that album to me,
I love that album,
I revisited it, I don't know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, and I was just surprised at like all the songs that just kept sticking out to me as something new that I had never really delved into before. I mean, every song on that record is insanely awesome.
Yeah, it says
and apparently they demoed out all those songs before they ever tried to get signed or took it to a label or anything. Which was
right.
unlike
50 million feet of earth between the Buried and Me.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great record. It's classic. It's all time. Yeah. I wanted to mention, because we didn't before, but I had been listening to some of that new Born of Osiris, which White Nile was that song, and shout out to our homie Erez Bader, who did the 2 music videos for that, and they look awesome. And Erez, we love you, dude.
Yeah, love you, E.
He did Penny Dreadful for us.
He did
Go With Your Ghost for us, and he did Skylights for us. So,
and I'm sure we'll do more work with him in the future.
We love Erez. It was really cool to meet him and just see the excitement that he had and has for his medium, which is directing and for film.
I think we found out about Erez through the Contortionist doing that reimagined thing.
Yeah, and I randomly saw him at Ziggy's.
Real music video that he did, right? Penny Dreadful was the first music video, like official, other than those amazing.
Well, because he did the reimagined videos for the Contortionists, which was, I guess, their idea, what was going on, and he directed it and put his own thing in. But Penny Dreadful was, we discussed with him what the idea was, but it was his idea about what to do and what the concept of it would be. And it was really ambitious at first, and we couldn't afford it, but it was so awesome. You know, again, shout out to E, because we love you, man. And
he just wanted to make something.
He just wanted to make it. And like I said, at first it was ambitious, and we couldn't afford it, but I remember we weren't going to be able to do it, and he called me back that day, and he just said, hey, man, like, I'm going to put my own money into this because I really just want to do it. And
I mean, they had like a full
there was a full
production crew and everything.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was
fun, man.
It was really inspiring for me to see, just being a fan of film for so long and just loving that whole thing and never really having an insight into what the process was, and then getting to meet all the people that were on that, the light crew, the actors.
I talked to him, I think it was about a year or maybe 2 years ago now. He had just mentioned, like, he had like put up like a collage of his videos, like little snippets, and he was like, man, some of the stuff from Penny Dreadful is still
That's
like
awesome.
Some of my favorite.
And he's done some
stuff,
awesome videos.
Oh,
worked with some huge bands. He's worked with Sumerian a few times over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
just killing it. And we love it. We love to see people that are doing what they love artistically. And
I kind of wish he didn't
success.
live in Texas. Kind of wish that, but
yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we got to stay at his place that one night when we were on tour. We didn't get to see him, but
it opened my eyes too to the fact that, you know, I mean, I knew UNCSA was here, the School of the Arts, but I never really thought much about it. And there's been some awesome alumni that have come out of there, some really funny people, some great actors. Your favorite, Anthony Mackie, the guy that plays, you know, the Marvel Birdman.
My favorite?
Yeah, you love that guy.
Birdman.
You know, Hawkman or whatever.
I don't know what you're talking
Pull
about.
it up. Anthony Mackie. Yeah, he's your favorite.
Anthony Mackie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's out of UNCSA.
I know you're being sarcastic.
No, you love him.
Yeah, I know you're being sarcastic. Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
You mean he's the new Captain America. Let's be real.
Yeah, but he was like Bird Boy or whatever.
Bird Boy. No.
Bird Brain?
You said Birdman, and Birdman was an awesome movie.
Yeah, but what was his character in Marvel first?
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, he's like the lamest superhero there is. He's like, what is this superhero? He wears goggles and he can fly.
I just saw him in a movie the other night that I was watching that it was like, man, that was a really good movie, though. That was like the first movie that I saw him that was actually good. I mean, he played in $1 Million Baby. That's pretty.
Did he?
It's pretty amazing.
I don't remember him in that.
I mean, a Half Nelson. That's what I saw him in.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say not $1 Million Baby, Half Nelson. Like, what the fuck is that?
No, I mean he's played in some good movies, man.
Yeah, I mean he's a huge actor. I'm
$1 Million Baby though. I can't remember him that, but that movie is.
Yeah, I don't remember him in that at all. He must have had a small bit part.
Spider-Man. I don't remember him in Spider-Man.
Well, he played his superhero character.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, anybody that's been playing in those Marvel movies, they're fucking huge.
Huge. Those are like the biggest movies that have ever come out.
Some of them, yeah, for sure.
I want to say like the most expensive and the most money generated. Just the whole infrastructure behind it's like the biggest movies that have ever come out.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting worn out on the superhero stuff, to be honest. But
yeah, it's kind of like every time you turn around now, there's a new superhero movie on Netflix and Amazon.
I did think that the one on Amazon was refreshing, though.
The Boys.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
The Boys is sick. It's different. But yeah, there's so many that are coming out now. There's one, Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. I haven't even looked at it because it's like you said. I just kind of, dude, another one. Like how many superhero movies are there going to be?
Yeah.
And I felt like Avengers was kind of the peak of that whole arc.
It was.
But it was incredible to see. Those movies are awesome. Yeah. I loved them. I
mean, when I see it now, though, it's like it's just all CGI, man. I'm really kind of over that. You know, I want some realness. Like Kendrick Lamar says, let me see some real.
Yeah, I think about that a lot now. I think about how I've loved movies for so long and how they've influenced my life so deeply, and it was a daily part of my life. And it's so weird to me now that I don't really watch many movies anymore. And every time I kind of...
Well, I mean, that changed with COVID, though.
It did, but it was even kind of before that. But COVID was definitely the big thing.
Because you'd go to the cinema like at least every other week with your pops.
Yeah, and I love that. I love spending time with him, having that time. It's funny because I just looked up yesterday what's playing at the Grand, and like 8 out of the 10 movies are horror movies. And
yeah.
I mean, horror movies are great, but they're not...
Like I said last week, I wanted to see Quiet Place 2.
That's cool, yeah, and it's playing in IMAX, but it's just kind of weird to me, like... It kind of, I don't know what the word is.
It's not. I don't care what it is. It's not bad. Like whatever it is. Like for right now, anything that's playing and people will go see, I think that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm just ready. You know, I'm just ready.
I'm just saying that those movies to me, it's a little bit like pop or like candy. They're great. They shock you and they're exciting. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really stay with you for a long time. There's a few really great horror movies that stay with you, but it's not even close to when you see a really great drama.
Well, there's a lot of stuff on hold right now. There's a lot of great movies that have been put on hold.
Yeah, I mean, Fast and Furious 10.5. Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do kind of lament those days, and I don't get on too much of a retro trip. I think it's cool to stay in the present and be appreciative of what's here now because there's a lot of exciting stuff, but...
Yeah.
You know, movies like Gangs of New York and There Will Be Blood and Gladiator and Braveheart. These are classic movies that you can still watch that are just amazing. And,
yeah, I mean,
you know, A Quiet Place is just not the same as those, even though it's cool.
No, but,
you know.
Yeah, it's like, that's definitely a lot better than most of the crap that's coming out. But
I did want to, that new 007 looked cool.
Oh, yeah. Looked awesome.
Looks action-packed.
Yeah.
And old Tommy Cruise, he's got the new Top Gun that was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
That should be cool.
Speaking of, Last of Us, they were going to come out with a series on HBO, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who's going to... I don't know who's going to play it, but...
HBO does some...
Such a great story, stuff. Last of Us, the video game. Such a great story, but...
HBO has to be one of the best as far as putting out a great series.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, True Detective is
so
good.
I tried to tell you about that new one that came out, The Mayor of Easttown. But
oh, yeah, you said that was really good.
I only watched like 2 episodes of it. But
what was the last one with Mark Ruffalo that we really liked?
I can't remember.
Mark Ruffalo, where he's his twin brother. That was an amazing series, too. Really, real tearjerker at the end, too. Real heavy. Sharp Objects was a great one.
Dude, there's so many good ones. I mean, Band of Brothers is probably my favorite, and that was an HBO, you know. I Know This Much Is True.
Yeah, that was great. I Know This Much Is True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at some stuff today, going over some like recent music news. I thought it was interesting. It was like NPR had a list of classic SNL performances, and it made me think. I was trying to think of ones that really stood out to me, and I was having a hard time because there's been some great ones that I really loved. I thought of Red Hot Chili Peppers right off the bat, but I was even trying to think, what was the last one that was even relevant to me?
I haven't seen SNL in so long because
that's
just
what I was
not
thinking.
Funny
yeah,
anymore,
it's kind of really fallen off, and they've been going for so long. But it's kind of hard to stay consistent.
I guess I don't watch TV though, so
yeah, that's kind of a weird thing that made me think of that. Yeah, just kind of the shift in media now, and TV's just not as relevant as it once was. Whereas going back to that Adam Duritz Counting Crows interview when he talked about when they played on SNL, that totally changed their career. And I mean, still, if you get on SNL, it's going to change your career, and it's going to be great.
Prime time.
But I don't think it's quite as relevant as it once was. I remember the last one I saw that was really impactful to me was Frank Ocean. Thinking About You was an awesome performance, and that dude's freaking amazing. But that must have been like 10 years ago at this point, maybe 8 years ago.
I don't know.
It was crazy. And then you came across, what was it,
like all the like the top 10 artists that have been banned from.
That made me smile.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Rage Against the Machine. Like, why would you have Rage Against the Machine on SNL with the host being like a
George Bush?
No, it was like a Republican candidate, and he was trying to be like
running for president.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was like, and or he was. It's just like, I mean, what do you expect? They're gonna hang upside down flags on their amps, and then they're only gonna let him play one song and kick him out.
They did that at every show. So you're gonna
that's what I'm saying.
You're gonna kick Rage out for hanging a flag upside down.
I feel like they knew it was gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's just drama.
Rage is awesome.
It seems like they like the drama. And then they had like Sinead O'Connor, and she was ripping up a picture of the Pope, I think, or whatever it was.
I love her. She's so incredible.
And then Frank Zappa, he was like talking about how he was reading cards off of the or whatever. I don't know.
That dude was kooky.
I can't remember who else. Elvis Costello, which was a weird one.
Yeah, I didn't know Elvis Costello was that controversial, but I don't know too much about him. I always remember him from.
He's probably like, this is my chance to be a bad boy.
I think he's, to be honest, I'm not super familiar, but I think he's kind of been a badass, in his own right. But I always remember him from The Spy Who Shagged Me when Heather Graham and Austin Powers are dancing together, and Mr. Burt Bacharach and Mr. Elvis Costello, and then they play and dance.
I think there was like Fear, which I'm not really familiar with them.
Fear, that's the band that was in the Sound City documentary.
Oh, okay.
You remember? Your wife is calling. So.
God.
Your wife is calling.
Well, that's when they're like 80 now.
Well, he's like really old school, like one of the original, punk dudes.
Yeah.
But admittedly, I'm not super familiar with Fear. Lee Ving was his name, the lead singer.
Who else was it? It was Cypress Hill. That's right. They lit up a joint on stage and destroyed all the instruments and stuff like that.
Like, if you invite Cypress Hill to play your show and you don't think they're gonna light up a joint, you're stupid. That's what they do.
I think those were all the notable ones. But yeah,
B Real's he had a pretty cool podcast for a lot of years now in the Smoke Box, where he bakes out his car and gets like Mike Tyson and Snoop Dogg, all kinds of cats in there.
The Replacements, I'm not really familiar with them either.
That didn't say David Bowie, did it?
I didn't see David Bowie. But yeah.
Your wife is calling. Yeah, that always cracked me up. Yeah, I was looking through the notables for 2020, which, I mean, I'm out of that scene, so
the
a lot
notables?
of those,
what are you talking about?
like the notable performances in SNL for the last year. Yeah. The only ones that really stood out to me really was The Weeknd, Blinding Lights. Where's that record? I love it. Weeknd's cool, man.
Yeah,
it's weird. Those
always
videos.
like Weeknd.
He's like got his chopping his head off, and girls playing with it. He's a freak. And then the Super Bowl performance that he did, where you hear that he put millions of his own dollars into doing it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's a huge promotional platform for anybody that could afford something like that.
But obviously he didn't have to do that.
He's always doing some really cool performance stuff. I just saw that he did a performance like I think it was a few months ago, where he's like in a car and he's like, it's a live performance, and he's always doing live performances, and he's obviously an amazing singer. So.
Yeah, and to my understanding, he was writing songs for a while before he was able to break out into his own thing. He was writing a few hit songs and finally was able to put his own shit down and killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything he's put out is awesome.
I like his older, raw material, but
yeah,
it's all good. Definitely likes Michael Jackson, that's for sure.
Dude does a lot of cocaine.
Maybe.
A lot of cocaine.
Maybe.
Oh, he definitely does. Maybe it's a front, some of it, but
who knows, man? You don't know the guy.
Yeah, I know cocaine, and that guy does a lot of cocaine.
Okay.
I've known the cokes. That reminds me of, I was thinking about first shows I've ever been to, and I remember clearly the first show I ever went to.
Why does that remind you of the first show you ever
went to? Well,
because,
okay, so I was like 13, maybe 14 years old.
And you saw The Weeknd?
It was amazing. No, I was 14, and I was hanging out with a friend of ours, Nick, and we went over to another friend's house, dude in town named Golden, who was a drummer.
Mm-hmm. He has Glass Casket's drummer, right?
I don't know if he was drumming for Glass Casket, but he was playing that night, and I was so young, and it was so long ago, I can't remember. But so we went over to Golden's house, and it was funny because he was jamming at his house before we went. And I remember clearly that was one of the first times I picked up a microphone and he was jamming. He was like, yeah, do something, man. And I loved to freestyle back in the day. So they start playing like sort of metal shit. And
oh yeah, I forgot Adam Cody is, I guess he's the current.
Yeah.
He's the current vocalist. Adam's
which I don't know what they do anymore, but
I only met Adam once, and it was at Shiners.
Yeah.
In Greensboro. But
he's a
really cool guy, man. He's
playing with the Swamp.
He's been in really so many bands.
It's he's with Wretched now.
Insane.
But yeah, anyway,
we
went over to Golden's house, and it was really fun, man.
Do you know his real name? Golden?
No, everybody knew him as Golden.
Okay.
But he was jamming and just jumping on the mic and doing some freestyle and stuff to the metal that they were playing was.
And no,
really
he
cool.
wasn't the drummer because it was always Blake Richardson.
Okay.
From BT Band.
But yeah, anyway, so that night Glass Casket was playing at Ziggy's, and it was definitely an interesting night. That was the original Ziggy's over by Brouhaha's over by Wake Forest here in Winston-Salem.
What a change it would be for us, for every band around here if that place was still around. Just like, that was such a great atmosphere, man.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it was a hole in the wall, but it was like, God, dude, so many great memories from there. So many places have been shutting down, too. It's crappy.
But yeah, so I remember they were playing that night, and I had never been to a show before, really. And it was interesting. We always got into interesting stuff, skateboarding. And we used to skate with Nick, and we always hung out with older cats. That was just kind of what it was. They always had cars, and we would just ride around and go find places to skate, Raleigh, Charlotte, whatever. And Nick was an interesting character. I remember that's why the Coke thing reminded me of that, because I guess those guys were into doing Coke. And, I mean, I was a kid, and I was scared of that shit. And I was like, that's like crack. I'm not messing with that, whatever it is. But anyway, I remember he couldn't get his fix or whatever it was. He couldn't get his cocaine, so he had to get some meth. I remember that. And he was doing meth. And that was really weird, just to be around that. It was interesting and pretty funny. And following them to the show, just getting in all kinds of trouble. And then once we got there, I kind of went off and did my own thing. But I remember that experience was really cool and really influential. And
the meth,
yeah, it was just the first time I felt alive. No, like I said, I was really turned off by that stuff. It scared me, and I didn't know what to make of it. I mean,
I'm still scared.
I was smoking the Cheebs back in the day, but
I'm still very scared of that.
it's a great time. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do meth. But yeah, it was it was really weird being around that and then going to the show, but it was a really intense experience, and there was a lot of crazy things that happened that night. It was like the first time I ever really talked to a girl. I got a girl's phone number.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was awesome. Susie was her name.
What were you? You were like 22?
I was like 38. No, I was like 13, and I might have been.
Dude,
I might have been 14.
First girl you talked to, you were 14.
Well, I mean, I had like a girlfriend before that in school, but like
publicly.
This was some girl that I met out at a show or out in public, and I talked to her and I got her phone number, and she lived in Greensboro.
I still haven't. That still hasn't happened for me.
We'll get there. No, it was just fun, man. And I've been thinking about that a lot this past week, which is live music, because everything's opening back up, and I'm buying up tickets like hotcakes. I mean, I bought tickets to all kinds of comedy shows. Me and Tyler are going to see Gojira and Deftones in D.C. Tedeschi Trucks is coming here into town, so I'm going to go see them here in a few weeks.
Did you buy the tickets for that?
Yeah, me and Tyler are going to go see that too.
I got to go see that.
Well, you turned us down, and you snooze, you lose.
I'm talking about Tedeschi. I'm not talking about
Yeah,
Gojira.
you turned us down.
I didn't turn anybody down. I said I wanted to go to the Tedeschi show. I said I wasn't driving to PA or whatever the hell for the Gojira show.
DC,
whatever.
Yeah, anyway. But with stuff opening up, it's cool. I'm excited about that. I'm really excited to go see some comedy too. I got tickets to see Tim Dillon. We're going to go see Theo Vaughn. Tom Segura's got a huge tour coming out, which is not till January, and then we've got our shows coming up, so all those things are really kicking, really rad, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah, thanks. You'll be there too, at the shows that we play.
Nah, bass in the backing track.
That's the jam.
And I'll just be running merch.
You could be like that guy.
We'll make a few more dollars.
You could be like that guy instead of playing bass, like spinning.
No one cares about the bass anyway.
What's that dude? Mark Rebier. I just saw him on Sway. He's the guy that was like the flamingos, and he's like taking his shirt off, and he's doing.
No one cares about bass until it's not there, and then they're like, "This shit sucks."
Yeah, I don't know who these people are, but fuck.
Well,
that.
There's a lot of bands that do that, They put the bass in the backing track.
Well, sometimes they just have to. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's hard to keep a band together.
Animals as Leaders is one of the bands that can actually pull it off because they're playing 8-string guitars and they've already got a lot of bass frequency in their music. So,
but I mean, people love bass. It's the essence of most of the pop music that everybody's listening to. So,
but you know what I mean? Essential. It's like bass players and stuff. They're usually swept under the, it's usually the guitarists that have the limelight and stuff in bands most of the time.
It is what it is, but it's like you said, when it's
I'm sad. I'm basically just saying that I'm sad.
Let's talk about it, man.
I don't really know how to talk about it. I'm just sad.
Why do you feel so sad?
I'm just tired of being swept under the rug, man. So tired of this.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why the fuck I'm in this band.
Yeah, speaking of heavy boom-bastic bass, I just saw that Rammstein just announced that they were going on a big tour here in the next year. They're
what a great note you had written down there.
Only playing stadiums and big old football fields and coliseums. Rammstein's cool. I mean, it's not typically my cup of tea. I've
never heard you listening to a Rammstein ever.
Like I said, it's not typically my cup of tea, but they're...
It's not typically or never. It's never your cup of tea.
What are we doing here, man?
It's never.
The fuck are we doing?
It's never your cup of tea. Let's just be real.
Should I just leave?
No, because you're the one hosting the show.
I'm the host. You're doing all the work. Shout out to Forby. What up, dog? Anyway, yeah. But no, I don't know why that makes me think of that Gojira video that went around because when I think of Rammstein, I think of pyrotechnics and flames and the guitar player from Gojira that stood in front of the pyrotechnics and got his fucking head almost burned off. Did you ever see that?
I saw like an article about it.
Pull it up. Pull up that video. We should pull it up for people who haven't seen it. This was like a couple years ago, but that shit was crazy.
You got hit in the face with a drumstick from...
Yeah, that was a great memory. That was when we saw in Asheville. We saw Gojira. We were right in front, and God, Gojira has some of the most intense energy of any band I've ever seen. But yeah, Mario Duplantier was getting into it, threw his stick out into the crowd, and lo and behold, I saw it in slow motion, inches away from the security dude's head, and hit me right in the eye. And God, I'm glad it didn't take my eye out. But it was well worth it because a few songs later, they took. It was like in the middle of the set, and he like jumps down. He's like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "I'm all right." It was. I got this drumstick on my wall. It's one of the best things ever happened to me.
Gojira guitarist set ablaze during show.
Yeah,
Still finishes his set. I'll try to skip ahead here. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
really,
rock feed.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I don't really.
Right, it's right there.
Clearly, the guitarist in a very dangerous situation. After seeing the very scary event, the vocalist of Gojira asked, "Did he get burned?" Unbelievably and thankfully, the musician was able to return.
He was like,
it says set ablaze. Guitarist set ablaze.
Well,
what clickbait that is.
Well,
whatever.
He's dead now, so I mean, he paid for it with his life.
Yeah, Gojira's awesome.
Yeah, they were on the cover of the latest Revolver, which I love Revolver. It's really the only music magazine worth the shit to me anymore. Rolling Stone's kind of fallen off to me.
I don't really know much about the magazines.
Yeah, nobody really reads books or magazines anymore, but they only put out like.
That's not what I said. I said I didn't know about magazine. I don't know about the magazines.
Well, they put out 4 a year, and I've
Revolver puts out 4 magazines.
Yeah, they don't put it out every month because people just don't read shit like they used to.
Yeah, and they don't want to pay for the production.
Nah, and I mean anything people read now, they put it online. But I got really lucky. The last one they sent, and they have like 4 variants of each cover every time they do it. And the last one they did was Deftones, Spotlight, and obviously I fucking love Deftones. The other ones, like there was Ghostman and a couple other bands, but I was just like, how did you know to send me that one? And then this last one was Gojira. Mm-hmm. There was a few other bands, but they sent me the Gojira one, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. And there's a cool interview in there with Jamie Morgan from Code Orange that's interviewing him. That guy.
Got to see Code Orange at, was it the last year of Carolina Rebellion, I think? You weren't there.
I didn't see him,
You weren't there.
Which I really feel like.
I saw, what's the Led Zeppelin cover band?
Greta Van Peek.
Yeah, not cover band. Sorry, but the very inspired.
I really feel like Code Orange. I haven't seen him, but I feel like you got to see him inside a club or something.
I saw. So I was watching Greta Van Fleet, and then I looked, and I was like, oh yeah, Code Orange, and I ran over there, and they played. They started the set with Forever, I think.
That's intense.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
There was a concert that Hate 5-6 put out. For anybody that loves hardcore, you already know this, but anybody interested, Hate 5-6 are these awesome concerts that are put on YouTube. They always film all the bands at This Is Hardcore up in Philadelphia. Those things always hit me right in the feels. There's something about hardcore music in particular, the heavy aspect of it, that just really gets me emotional. And I don't typically spin hardcore records and listen to them regularly, but I love watching live footage from hardcore shows, and I love listening to
a lot of energy.
It's so much energy, and it's such a visceral anger that is released through hardcore music. It's a little different to me than metal, where I feel like metal is a little more calculated. It's a little more heady, but hardcore just comes right from the gut. And honestly, I get really emotional a lot of the time when I watch those. I get welled up with.
You get emotional all the time, though.
I really do. I cry a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a bad thing.
It's a terrible thing.
Do you not cry?
Never.
I cried.
Not even last episode.
I cried when I saw this video.
We can play this, right? Who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
Who cares?
we've seen this. We've seen this so many times, but it just. Yeah, I think I.
This is like a band. This is like Stellar Circuit's band meme.
I don't know why, but this reminds me. I came across some videos of us on tour crying, laughing in hotel rooms at like 3 in the morning, and Jared he has like one of the most infectious laughs when he just gets going.
I can see you every night.
I love the editing. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's seen this already, but it's just
I don't know.
if you haven't seen it, you're welcome.
Okay, I'm stopping it there. It's enough. But yeah, check that one out. Puddle Mud Nirvana cover About a Girl. Man, it's the best cover.
About a girl, man?
About a girl, man. Yeah, you gotta watch it. You know what I mean?
Easy.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
Yeah,
You want to go off the rails.
You gotta watch that.
But yeah, anyway, I was saying the interview with Jamie and Joe Duplantier, the lead singer of Gojira, was cool. They get into sort of what the difference was on Fortitude versus the last record, Magma, which Magma was...
I enjoyed Magma a lot more, just saying.
So apparently, I mean, I think we kind of already knew this, but Joe and Mario's mother passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of Magma was a really like personal grief kind of thing going on in their record.
And I think they built a studio right after that. And I think...
What's the name of that studio? They're one of... I forget that they self-produce their records, which is it's amazing.
Well, now, like I said, I don't know if Magma was Silvercord. Yeah, I don't think Magma was.
It was.
I think they
did. They produced it themselves.
Okay, I thought it was in that studio.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought they built it right after that album.
No, they talked about it when we went and seen them on tour.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna say 100%, but I
sick.
remember them talking about it when we went and saw them at the Orange Peel, and I don't really know. I can't think of any other band off the top of my head that has a sound that's so great that does their own recordings like that. There's a bunch of great bands that record themselves and have really cool sounding records, but not quite on that level that their shit was.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, they were talking about the difference between Magma and that being a really personal sort of like grieving process record, and then kind of shifting sort of overarching idea of Fortitude was more a celestial kind of thing, the outside world and what's going on and what they feel about that. And it wasn't too specific, like it was about this and this, but he was just talking about some of the stuff that they're really passionate about, which is the Amazon project, which is really cool. They have a Save the Whales thing that they've been in, I think, since From Mars to Sirius, which is it's some organization that they've been involved with to help wildlife, which is awesome. I mean, we love animals too, and the rainforest is an interesting cause that I think anybody can get down with, unless you're some fat cat business fucker that doesn't care. But yeah, all that stuff's cool, just to have that positive aspect to what they're doing. And it's not like preachy or anything and in your face. It's just like, this is something that we care about and it's associated with what we're into. And he talked about their interest in like native peoples and sort of that idea of being a little more connected to the earth and stuff like that. And yeah, I haven't listened to Fortitude more than a couple of times since it's come out.
Yeah. I like their singles a lot. And there was one, I can't remember the name of it, but it kind of sounded like one of the songs off of Magma.
One of the singles, you said? Oh, yeah. There was one that sounded like Silvera.
Silvera, yeah.
Was it because of the whammy?
It's just the groove, everything. I don't know. It just I can't tell you. I think it's like the scrape.
Oh yeah.
They're doing a lot of the scraping sounds like on that single, but pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go to that show with Ty, going and seeing Gojira. We mentioned that last time, that when we met Abe, that he gave us the lowdown that they were going on tour with them, and then they got canceled, but thankfully it's back on.
Probably have Tyler on next episode, maybe.
He's gonna be. He's finally gonna be back around.
Yeah, we're excited to get back to band practice and get this thing rolling again.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to get together in the same room and start jamming out again. We haven't really been together since recording, so
2 months, right?
It's been 2 months, I think. And we're coming up on, like I said, these shows and getting closer to sharing some new music with people. So we're excited about that. That was one thing I forgot to mention with the whole Of Mice and Men EP thing, which I thought was interesting because, you know, we're mulling over what's the best way, how we're going to be putting this music out, trying to be.
There's a lot of factors that go even into that. Before that, but
it's definitely something that's been on our mind, and it's interesting. I know we have always really loved albums and the full length experience, but just kind of the way things are now, you can do anything. You can put out singles, you can put out full album, you can put out EPs, but it's worth it to think about what you're doing and how to best maximize your music. Spirit Box being a perfect example of really they focused on putting out singles and were able to gain a lot of traction over the past couple years. And they put out an EP at first, and now finally they're going to be releasing an album. And good for them, you know, to be able to figure out the best way to work the system and kick its fucking ass. I love it. Yeah. Anyway, that Revolver issue was cool. I was reading that today. One thing I like I mentioned, was Jamie from Code Orange interviewing Joe for that. One thing I like that they do is they have artists interviewing other artists. They had an interview with, what's her name? It's Amy Lee, I think is her name, from Evanescence, and she's interviewed by Courtney LaPlante in the magazine, which I guess you watched the podcast with them being interviewed. It was cool to see, or to read at least. You saw it though. What do you think of that?
Well, I didn't see it because it wasn't a actual video. It was just the audio.
Oh, they didn't have video?
No. It was really cool. I mean, I had never heard much from Amy before that, like her talk. I've seen her perform, and she's awesome. There's nothing bad to say about that woman. She's an amazing singer, amazing performer. And obviously being a woman coming up in rock and metal I feel like is a feat in itself, you know?
I remember years ago randomly reading about her, and when they got on a label and broke, obviously that huge song that they had, Bring Me to Life, which blew up. They had the song, and the label just didn't think that, this is like the fucking early 2000s, so I don't understand this, but they didn't think that it was going to be received well because...
I know Linkin Park was huge then. Like, I just remember Linkin Park and Evanescence, like, that was like right when, for whatever reason.
But for some reason, the label didn't think that they'd be well received, so the guy that was on, like, they didn't even know the guy. Like, it wasn't a part of their band. They didn't have that, and the label was like, you need to have this guy on here, and it's going to help open you up, which... It's not like it was a bad decision because obviously the song was a huge hit and people loved it, but I just always thought that was weird. It's like they weren't like I said, this is the early 2000s. We had, you know, a bunch of killer female fronted rock bands through the 70s and 80s and 90s. So for whatever reason, I just always thought that was kind of weird, but like it wasn't a bad decision because it was obviously really successful, but that would just be kind of weird, you know? You like go to make a song and then the label's like, well, we got to bring this other singer on to sing with you because people aren't going to like it.
Yeah, the interview was interesting though. Most of those interviews that, like with Chaney from Entheos and stuff, all those interviews that Courtney has done seem pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't checked out her podcast yet.
They're good.
Good for a girl.
I mean, I don't even watch podcasts.
That's the name of it. I'm not talking shit.
Ben watches podcasts. Or listens to podcasts. I don't.
That's why we're so good at it.
That's why we're amazing. That's why all you people are tuning in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, the last interview that I saw in that magazine was good old Serge Tankian from System, and that was cool. Just to read a little bit more about him. Obviously, it's legacy. We've read and heard about System and Surge for so long. They've had a hell of an up and down career with like getting back together and not being able to make music, but they were always really influential for me. I loved them around the time Toxicity. I listened to a lot of that.
Yeah, we all did.
Shout out to my boy Kenny Luna. Love that dude. And I know
Kenny.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Love you, Kenny. Anyway, I
We'll
know
go into that story.
I know he loves System too. That's why. So I'm shouting him out. But yeah, those songs are always really influential. This good old Belle the Pitbull.
Oh, hey there, girl. I made a post online today saying this is the first time I like called Bella to take a bath, and she was like up and willing. She jumped right in the bathtub. She's 12 years old. She's never done that before. So it was a good day.
We love animals. Always have.
I love Bella. Okay.
Oh, you don't love animals?
I love Bella.
Me and Jesse actually were volunteers back in the day at the Humane Society.
Yeah.
We used to do
We
that
were
for
always
fun.
good kids.
Yeah.
Well, I
Like
was
said,
a good kid.
Meth.
You weren't a good kid.
Skateboarding.
I didn't ever. No.
You
Never.
know what?
Never drugs.
You never did drugs.
Never. Nothing worth talking about.
Oh, nothing worth. It's a little. But no, yeah, we used to volunteer at the Humane Society. That was cool. That was fun.
Oh yeah, it was a great time.
It's a good time.
Seeing all the sick and animals.
Giving them baths. I don't think the Humane Society closed down near us. I don't even think.
Yeah.
Is the Humane Society a thing anymore, or is it just the pound?
I don't know.
They just catch them and kill them.
I don't know. Catch 'em and kill 'em. What is that? That's a movie. What is that?
It's the Amityville Horror.
Amityville. Yeah, that was a good one.
But yeah, I think the main thing that I've just been harping on this week is just live music being back, man. It's stoking me up. I'm getting excited. We've got these shows booked that we're going to start announcing soon. We've been trying to put out more content for you people, stuff that we're interested in, excited about, and
I'll be putting out another playthrough this week.
Sick.
I've got a few to release, but I'll probably just put out one this week and then stretch it out probably.
Yeah.
And Benny's working on some stuff.
Yeah, we just filmed some stuff last night, so we're gonna be putting out some vocal playthroughs here soon. So that'll be cool.
We got some new merch coming.
Yeah.
Got some new stuff on its way. So.
But yeah, I know that I'm ready for live stuff again, man. This past year was cool. It wasn't cool. That's not what I meant. But we had to deal with it, and it was what it was. And we wrote a record, and everybody was dealing with things. You know, it was a tough year, but
It's been longer than a year.
Yeah, it's been over a year, and I'm really excited to see things opening back up now, and all these bands and comedians booking more shows. And obviously, it's exciting for us because we dedicate our life to that. So the fact that we're able to jump back on the saddle and start doing this thing more, it's exciting.
We haven't played in front of people in over a year.
God, it's been so long.
It's like every time we try to get we try to get this flow with the band and getting on the road, something happens. It's just
it's kind of the nature. It's the nature of the beast, and there's always going to be setbacks. But thankfully, we've been able to roll with the punches and keep doing this band after 6 years.
You're doing it?
Big time. Big time.
Man.
So yeah, I guess we're going to leave you folks with that. Just the fact that we're excited about this live entertainment stuff coming together. And I know that we all love the internet, and it's a great place to connect to some degree and get exposed to different art and things like that. But I think especially us fans of rock and metal know the importance of live music and to get out there and to really be there, because with this kind of music, you're not, we know that you don't get it through headphones like you do when you're there and you got that air blasting at you and people around you.
Yeah, it's about the experience for sure.
Yeah, so
the live experience.
That's what we're doing, and that's why we're here. So we love all you good people. Thanks again for tuning in to the Trace episode of Stellar Circuit Central, my lucky number, and we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Peace, love, and music.